Good morning again, dear students and Dr. Ahmed. This is part 2 of our lecture on coastal space of Kuwait, the basics, scientific issues, and development plans, all from the fluid mechanics point of view. Last time, we spent about 50 minutes discussing about the general issues in the whole Arabian Peninsula, Arabian Gulf, how the different parameters affect coastal infrastructure development. That is what we saw. Today, we specifically, we will see the aspects in Kuwait. For example, first we will spend some 20 minutes on the marine environment of Kuwait, focusing particularly on fluid mechanics, the coastal aspects related to fluid flow when the seawater is moving from one place to another place. What happens to the coastal infrastructures in Kuwait? What is the scientific problem we are facing and how to solve them? So a thorough understanding of the mechanics and dynamics of fluid of the coastal water is very, very important. Then the second half, we will spend some time on what is the plan of Kuwaiti government in the future for developing coastal infrastructures in Kuwait. Because most of the population in Kuwait, we live very close to the coast for obvious reason. People may not like to live very deep into the desert because of non-availability of resources or water or electricity. So people always love to live closer to the coast. That way, in future, Kuwaiti government is planning to develop lot of coastal projects, including houses, shopping complex, marinas, entertainment cities, waterfront activities for children, walking space, fitness places. They all come in many areas on the coastal side. Many coastal infrastructure will be developed. A thorough understanding of the fluid mechanics and its dynamics is important for civil, particularly civil engineers. Other engineering discipline people also will work with you, but then civil engineers, you are going to spend a lot of time analyzing different type of coastal infrastructure, designing. You will also involve in the construction, maintenance. Any problem arises, then you will think how to solve them. You will also think how to economically make all the coastal infrastructure, how to make them without affecting the marine life, how to make them aesthetically looks good, how to improve their life. So all these things are there. For all these things, a strong understanding of basic engineering is important. Fluid mechanics is one such basic engineering. Now we will focus on Kuwait marine environment, different aspects of the environment in Kuwait. If you see this figure, this is Arabian Gulf. What you see here is Arabian Gulf. The width of Arabian Gulf, this width is almost like 200 kilometer or 200 to 250 kilometer. Here it is Iran, here Iraq, Kuwait is here, surrounded by Saudi Arabia. This is Saudi Arabia here. Within Kuwait, you know, already we discussed there is no river. The only river discharging very close to Kuwait is Shatt al Arab, which is the name of Tigris-Euphrates River. This is the only river discharging very close to Kuwait. So it is discharging here, very close to Bubiyan Island. But then the discharge the last many years has reduced very much. In good olden days, this river was discharging a lot of fresh water and sediments. Nowadays, the discharge has reduced very much because on the upstream side of this river, many dams were built starting from Turkey, Syria, Lebanon, because the water river starts from there, all the way from there. When it rains in the catchment area there, then the water comes all the way through Tigris and Euphrates. Because of large number of construction, the flow has reduced. And what is its effect on Kuwait? That is what most important. When freshwater supply is reducing, what will happen? The salinity of water will increase within the territorial water of Kuwait and in Arabian Gulf. In general, the salinity will significantly change. When salinity is changing, it affects all the marine structures from corrosion point of view. It changes. So, and also from marine biodiversity point of view, there are a lot of effects because of reduced water flow. We will see all of them. Now you see a closer view of Bubiyan Island. This is Bubiyan. Bubiyan Island is here. The north, this one is Warba Island. This line, the yellow color line indicates the boundary between the international boundary between Iraq and Kuwait. So this side belongs to Kuwait and that side belongs to Iraq. So Warba is here, belongs to Kuwait. If you get a chance to go and visit these islands, you will see the water flowing in and out with a lot of sediments. Okay, the water level here varies to the tune of 4 meters sometime during spring tide. 4 meter level change means the velocity of flow here will be order of closer to 1 meter per second. Very high flow of water. And lot of marine life like prawns and crabs, they all live here, and that is one of the important commercial marine food for all of us. and the water flowing here in this core Shabiya. We have a lot of marine structures here, and it impacts those marine structures. And down south here is Failaka Marina. Also have a lot of fluid mechanics problem in the coastal area. We will see them. So this is a closer view of Failaka Marina. And you know, you have one marina here. This is a marina in Failaka. So if you wanted to go from mainland to Failaka for a visit, you will go to this marina for parking the boat. Many occasions this marina is filled with silt and clay and sand. That is a result of fluid force acting on sand and silt. The shear stress induced on them creates a movement of these sediments, and they go and settle inside the marina. Just in Shabiya power plant, this is a Shabiya power plant. If you see here, the you know, this area, the seaside area, what you see here, the seaside area is a seawater intake. People take water through this intake channel, and they use the water for cooling of the power plant. And finally, the water comes here and they discharge here back. The water after cooling, it will be a little bit higher in temperature. So when you discharge this water, a little bit warm water goes into the sea. And along with the water, a lot of sediments, they have to move from here all the way here. These are all the settlement due to the discharge of sediment loaded water. So this is a pure fluid mechanics problem. And if you go to Sabah Ahmed city project here in the south, Al Quran area, people have dredged a lot of material within this area, and the seawater enters into this area all the way from the sea. Everywhere it enters, and it goes out when tide falls, when it goes out. It's a pure fluid mechanics. The fluid is flowing in and going out. A clear fluid mechanics problem. When fluid is going from outside, sometimes it carries sediment, and sediment will be deposited inside this waterway. And other problem related to fluid mechanics is the people staying here on the houses, they will use this water, and sometimes the wastewater, they enter inside, and it may pollute the water body here. From fluid mechanics point of view, we need to have frequent exchange of water by nature. This water should go out and fresh water should come in, go out, come in. So we have to make the design such that water never gets polluted, or the pollution level is within the threshold. So these are all the application from fluid mechanics point of view. This is a closer look of this project. So these are all developed land area where people buy the area, build their house and use it. And now we will see some important physical factors of Arabian Gulf as well as Kuwait. We are here. What this color indicates are the depth of water. Like topography on the land, this is bathymetry, we say. So Kuwait, if you go around Failaka and Bubiyan, the water depth is only from 0 to 5 meters, very shallow water. If you come from there towards south, see this color indicates water depth from 5 to 15 meters. This color is there inside Kuwait Bay. Kuwait Bay, the highest water depth is closer to 15 meters. And when you come down south again from here, water depth exceeds 15 meters, it goes up to 30 meters. So that is all in Kuwait. See, Kuwait, the maximum water depth in boundary of Kuwait is up to 30 meters. Whereas you have to go deep here to reach water depth more than 30 meters. On the Iranian side, water depth, most of the places they are closer to 30 to 100 meters. If you keep sailing out, if an oil tanker goes from here, Kuwait, all the way out, it will sail in water depth of 30 to 100 meters. Then when it enters into Arabian Sea, then only it will reach water depth of 500 to 1,700 meters deep water. So basically, Arabian Gulf and Kuwaiti territorial water, they are very shallow. Very shallow means easily solar radiation easily will pass into the water. Temperature will increase easily, water temperature, because it is very shallow. In deep water, such things not possible. When solar radiation falls, water is deep, so solar energy may not be enough to raise the water to a temperature of from 25 to 35, it cannot raise. Whereas in Kuwait, very shallow water, so easily temperature of water will rise easily. And in Kuwait and surrounding area, the summer temperature, it is very high, 45 to 55 degrees centigrade. And the humidity also is very low most of the time. So evaporation of water is very high. When water evaporates, the fluid water become highly saline. Highly saline means it is a property of the fluid. Salinity high means high density. Fluid will become high density. The density of the water in Kuwait sometimes reach 1.04 ton per meter cube or even more sometimes. So what is the importance of density? High density means it will have more shear stress. More shear stress means when it is acting on structure, it will induce additional shear force. When it is acting on seabed, additional shear force, so it will move sediments. Fluid have additional density is higher, it will easily hold more sediments. Sediment settlement will be a bit slow. So all those things are associated phenomena. So we have to connect them all. And here in Kuwaiti territorial water of Kuwait is from the coast 12 nautical miles. 1 nautical mile is 1.86 kilometers. So 12 nautical mile is a little bit more than 20 kilometers. That is a territorial water. Within territorial water of Kuwait, Kuwait can do all its operation. It can install offshore platform. It can install any floating structures. So any type of infrastructure we can develop within the territorial water because it belongs to Kuwait. The total area of the territorial water is about 7,600 square kilometer. All this information, they are all available in the book published by Dr. Faisal Lamani from Kaiser. So very rich information you will get by reading this book. See what this figure shows. If you have fresh water flowing from Shatla Rab, the freshwater density is 1 ton per meter cube, whereas seawater is denser. So freshwater easily move on the surface of the seawater. Freshwater mixing with the seawater has the advantage of helping biodiversity increase. So that is a place when freshwater mixes with seawater, a lot of shrimp and prawns and crab, they really love to live there. So that way, around Kuwaiti territorial water, you have many locations rich in biodiversity. And you know, Shatla Rab discharges not only water, also sediments, last many thousands of years. And you can imagine when sediment comes here, it is discharged here, you have an anti-clockwise current. This is anti-clockwise circulation here. Due to Coriolis force, it is anti-clockwise. So sediments coming here, it is pushed inside this area. So that is the reason you have a lot of sediments around this area. Next, within Kuwait, there is no river, but then this river and other rivers, they discharge some fresh water during rainfall. It's so small nowadays. From the previous lecture, you know, it is only about 35 kilometer cube per year compared to 350 kilometer cube of evaporation. But still, whatever it is, Kuwait have always positive and negative impact due to the discharge of Shatla Rab water. If you have good quality water discharging, it will help biological diversion. If the water contains pollution or agricultural waste, it will induce sometimes it will create a negative impact by creating more bacteria, reducing oxygen level in the water. All those things happen. Shatla Rab River, the Tigris-Euphrates River, inside Iraq, this is an area called Mesopotamian marshland. It's a big area. It is, the area itself is like similar to area of Kuwait. In good olden days, water come and stay here. You can see a lot of marsh plant. Many Arabian people, they lived here. They use fishing, mainly fishing, and they make a lot of product using bamboos here, growing here. Also, they grow a lot of buffaloes because they love water, no? So like that. So the water here helps in life of many people. But nowadays it is all dry. You know, when you receive dust, sometimes dust comes from here in this marshland. When it is dry, you will see only silt and clay on the surface. When wind is blowing, dust starts coming from here. In Kuwait, the main wind direction is from northwest. That is the main direction. So sometimes a lot of dust comes from here. We will discuss some of the important facts within Kuwaiti territorial water. One, if you visit the beaches of Kuwait, all the way from Rasalard is here, Salmiya area, all the way to the southern boundary. Most of the places are sandy beach. Some places it is rocky, like Mesila, some area it is rocky. So like that you will see some rocky beaches, otherwise mostly sandy. The reason is the silt and clay coming through Shatl Arab, they are pushed around this area, Failaka, Kuwait Bay and Bubiyan. And by the time you come down below Rasalad, the water becomes a little bit more transparent. You go down to Kiran area here, for example, or Garu, Umar Maradam. If you go there, you will see water is very transparent. No silt and clay, not much silt and clay. So because of this. But in Kuwait Bay, if you see, most of the structures here in coastal area, they are all artificial structure. And if you go to the northern part of Kuwait Bay, not many artificial structures. So the nature itself has clay and silt and mud here. You know, Kuwait have many islands. Some of the promising islands are Kubar Island, Garu Island, Maradam Island. They are all here and they are strategically very important for Kuwait. So we have to make sure the island and marine life there lives forever without any negative impact. So that need to be taken care of by coastal engineers in Kuwait. This is a closer view of the island, all the three islands. Kubar, top one is Kubar, this is Maradam, Garu. Among these three, Garu is a small island. But each island surrounding, you will see a lot of natural corals. So since you have corals, a lot of beautiful fishes, many different varieties of fish, you will see around these islands. The waves and currents acting on the island, sometimes they cause erosion of the island and sometimes cause a deposition of the material around the island. So these are all by fluid. Then Kuwait also have many places with natural corals. The red color point indicates the location of corals in Kuwait, natural corals. And you know, last many years, slowly, the sea around the world is becoming more acid because of carbon dioxide. When it is dissolving with rain, carbonic acid comes back and they mix with seawater. So seawater is slowly becoming acidic. When it is becoming acidic, coral reefs, they cannot tolerate when water is becoming slowly acidic. Their body surface is made out of calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate, they dissolve in acid water. So they die, all of them slowly die because of acidification. This is a global problem. Not only for Kuwait, every country has this problem. So that is another area we need to fight and work. Make sure the water, ocean water is not becoming more acidic. That is very important. The seawater temperature in Kuwait, it is important for you to know about that. We measured the seawater temperature around Bubiyan and Failaka area. For one full year we measured. If you see this, the seawater temperature minimum in a year is closer to 10 degrees centigrade. It is very chill water actually. 10 degree water means it is really chill. If you try to dive in such water, you feel very cold. Similarly, the maximum temperature reached during 2006 is closer to 36 degrees centigrade. For seawater, 36 degrees is very warm, in fact. Many marine life, they don't like such a high warm water. So the range is from 10 degree to 36 degree. It is varying in a year. When compared to open sea, in open sea like Bay of Bengal, Indian Ocean, Arabian Sea, or any open sea, Pacific Ocean and all, we will not have temperature variation of 10 to 36 degree. No. It is only about on the surface, I'm talking surface. It will vary from 25 degree to 29 degrees centigrade. That's all. So high variation of temperature is not really good for a lot of marine life. But in Kuwait, we have very high variation. So the marine life here, they are tolerating such high variation. So that is the one important thing we have to understand. This is how the temperature variation from March 2015 all the way from March to January 2016. You see how the temperature varies. It varies from 20 degree in March, 20 degrees, slowly increasing to 30, 35 and all. It is increasing here. Peak is during July, September. That is the peak time. Very high value it will reach. Then afterwards, after September, the temperature slowly comes down. See, the thickness is because of daytime temperature variation. In the daytime, temperature will reach high. During early morning, it will come down here. So within the day, the temperature, you have temperature variation. That is what the thickness of this. But the seasonal variation is this. Okay, so this is how the temperature varies. So as I told you, when temperature varies, automatically the fluid density will vary and its character will vary. When density varies, density is everywhere in fluid mechanics. Density is one of the important parameters everywhere to understand fluid statics, pressure, dynamic impact, design of pumps, everything. That density is a parameter. Similarly, the seawater has salt, and how it varies in Kuwait is like this. You see around Bubiyan, different location, the minimum salinity is in Failaka, we notice is 34 ppt. Maximum is closer to 48. This is really a very high salinity. 34 to 48 in a year, that is a variation. In open sea, if you go and measure the salinity, it will be about 30 ppt to 31 ppt. That's all the variation in a year. In Kuwait, the salinity variation in a year is very, very high. When salinity is increasing, the density again will increase. That is the important point. From fluid mechanics point of view, higher the salinity, higher is the density of the fluid. Another property is the turbidity. How much silt and clay load in water. That's what turbidity. Turbidity also varies very high around the Bubiyan and Failaka area. The turbidity unit here is ppm, parts per million. If you take 1 million kilogram of water, sometimes the turbidity goes to like this 58,000 kilogram. So that much is the turbidity variation. It's a very high variation of turbidity. Higher the turbidity, higher the density of fluid. So this is what. Why we are discussing about temperature, salinity, turbidity of water? Because the density varies. When density varies, every property of the fluid will vary. Quickly, since we are all living in Kuwait, it is good to know in general the physical oceanographic condition of the southern territory of Kuwaiti territorial water to north. So just a quick comparison. If you see suspended sediment in the northern part of Kuwait, northern territorial water is Bubian, Faidaka, Warba, around this area. The suspended sediment is very high. Whereas in south, when you go to south, like Ummal Maradam, Garu Island, it is very low. So this is number one. Number two, if you travel by a boat from south to north or from north to south, for example, in the north, when you go around Bubian, the waves are small. Most of the time, it is less than 1 meter. Whereas when you go to south and in the island area, the waves are medium, like 1 meter for 60% of the time. So that is what the waves. Okay, low in the north, medium in the south. Tide is water level variation due to attraction of moon and sun. It is attracting, so tidal variation. It is high in the north, sometimes 4.5 meter. 4.5 meter is almost closer to say 3 times of our height. That is the variation. Whereas you go to south, the tidal variation is much smaller. When you have high tidal variation, the high tidal variation induces a high current, high speed current. That is the point. That's what here. See, current in the northern part of Kuwait, maximum it can go to 1 meter per second. The 1 meter per second, you can extract a lot of energy from ocean current. Whereas in the south, it is medium. Maximum will be 0.5 meter per second. Similarly, the bathymetry means water depth. It is very shallow in the north and it is intermediate, means up to 35 meters in the south. So because of all this property, if you see the population in beach houses, in the north it is low. Still lot of empty spaces on the coast is available. Whereas in south, every coastal area is filled with beach houses, resorts, hotels, like that. Beach type in the north is muddy, many places. That is also one reason why people don't like to go and build their beach house in the muddy area. Whereas in south it is sandy. Lot of information on these points are available from this book written by Dr. Faisal Yamani et al. And published during 2004. It is called Oceanographic Atlas of Kuwait Water. So I recommend you to read if you wanted to know more about physical, chemical, and biological aspects of Kuwaiti territorial water. It's a very nice book. You will enjoy reading. Similarly, you see dust in Kuwait. Last class, we were discussing a little bit about the dust. You know, the dust comes from Iraq or from Sahara area. It deposits a lot of this dust is deposited inside the Arabian Gulf. So in Kuwait, the territorial water also. Sometimes the visibility will be almost closer to zero. You might have seen in many years, you might have seen this. If you talk about the value of how much dust in air, we call it as a total suspended particulate matter. in microgram per cubic meter of air. So it reaches to the value of 4,000. This is measured during 91 to 2002, measured in Managesh area. Most of the time it is less than 500, but sometime during high wind speed, it reaches 4,000. But we also have a record of 10,000 microgram per cubic meter. During 2011, we have measured very high dust. What is its impact or how it affects the fluid mechanics? There's so much of dust falls into the water and keep on falling. Every year you see 0.84 to 2.53 million ton every year. This is a range of dust falling into the Kuwaiti territorial water, this much. So these dusts are fine particle. So when it keep on falling, then of course the turbidity of the water in general will keep increasing. So increase in turbidity means increase in density. So this is what the connection. Also dust also contains some good chemical particle like nutrients, and also some bad chemicals like poisonous substance. So we have to know all those things. Then wind in Kuwait, normally dominant wind speed is from northwest. This is the dominant direction. Northwest or northwest, these two are the dominant direction. That is the reason a lot of dust comes from this side, Iraq side and Saudi Arabian, the Arabian side, North African side. Okay, this is the general wind speed. If you talk about waves, within Kuwait, around the Kuwait area, we have very little wave. If you see this color indicates waves of up to, see the outermost boundary layer of Kuwait, sometimes you see waves from 1.5 to 2.5 meter. Otherwise, within Kuwait Bay and all, you will see very little waves. Whereas you go to the offshore region of UAE, you see waves, higher waves. Design of any marine structure, you need high wave heights. For example, if you wanted to design an offshore platform here in Kuwait, for example here, so this corresponds to 1.5 to 2.5 meter. So you have to design for such type of waves. Also wave period, also we have to consider. Turbidity, if you really wanted to look into the turbidity, this is near Kubar Island. During one of our field visit, the photo is taken. Our people, our divers. So near Kubar Island, water quality, water looks like this, very transparent. Whereas same time, almost the same time during 2015, around Warba Island, this is how the water looks, very turbid. So we were visiting the Sabia power plant. This is the intake structure. On the intake structure, we were standing and took the photo. You can see here, because the high turbid water, the turbid water settles slowly. When it settles, you will see mud, fully mud flat here. You can see a lot of mud crabs, a lot of life here. Whereas when you come to south, many places water is transparent, and in many places water already reached the houses, eroding. So a thorough knowledge of fluid mechanics is required for this. Similarly, current velocity, if you see here, is high. Current velocity around Bubian, it is high. Sometimes it goes to 1 meter per second. like this. For example, velocity around Failaka sometimes goes closer to 90 centimeters per second, the speed of walking. Tidal variation within Arabian Gulf is highest in the northern part of Arabian Gulf, that is around Kuwait. Okay, sometimes more than 3.5 meters is a tidal variation here. And around Bubian, it goes more than 4 meters. High tidal variation means a high velocity of fluid. Like this. For example, Warba Island, tidal variation will be the distance from here to here is almost 4 meters. Now, this basic is over. Now we will see quickly what the government plans in future for coastal space development and how you can use the knowledge of fluid mechanics. Government is planning to build Silk City. This is the appearance of the Silk City, Bubian Island here. Power plant, Sabia power plant, north of Sabia power plant. This is the plan. Government is planning to build Silk City to take care of a future population. So this is the plan view. This is the center of the Silk City, like this. The very high tower here. Okay, the closer view of the main city looks like this. The tower name is Madinat Al Harir. A tower with a height of 1001 meters. That is the plan. If it is built, this is the highest tower in the world. All surrounded by seawater. So everything is surrounded by seawater. So the fluid mechanics plays a role in the designing of coastal erosion, marina, water quality, sediment deposition, all these things we have to use the knowledge of fluid mechanics. And if you go to other side of the Bubian, you have the Bubian Al-Kabir, Mubarak Al-Kabir port, a big port with artificially developed area. So this port here with the water here also gets a lot of sedimentation. Millions of cubic meters of sediment will deposit every year inside the port and in the approach channel. So a strong understanding of fluid mechanics is required to assess how much sediment will deposit first of all. So when we do good assessment, we can plan for dredging. Similarly, government is planning to invest 160 billion US dollar to develop all the islands. You can see here, different islands, how much area they wanted to develop. This list is available. Failaka, they wanted to make it as a tourism hub of this region by developing the island. Everywhere when it is developed, fluid will keep moving inside and outside. So these are all there. Government has successfully already built Sheikh Jabbar Causeway, which is also inside the fluid. So this particular bridge is designed for the fluid-induced water, seawater-induced forces on piles. And they have successfully installed this $3 billion project to avoid going around the White Bay. And within this route, they also have a few islands. To design this island, you need a strong fluid mechanics to make sure after construction they are not eroding, they are not settling, liquefaction will not happen. All these things are fluid mechanics properties. Government is also planning to build or develop Sulaibikat Bay. This bay area right now, they wanted to invest a lot of money to develop this area to make like this. If you see here, they wanted to develop some good marina, a lot of walking space, children's playing space, like this, beautiful places with restaurants, hotels. So children can go and play and people elder people can go and walk. So this is the plan of the government, Sulebika Bay. So fluid can enter here, and its effects we have to understand while designing this type of infrastructure. Al-Sharq is another area. Already it is developed, but the government plans to develop further this Al-Sharq area, waterfront area. If you are thorough with fluid mechanics and wave mechanics, coastal engineering, you will contribute a lot for successful development of this project. Similarly, Fintas Marina project is also under development. The circular marina, hundreds of boats can stay inside, and you have an entrance like this. So for developing this for this type of a project, you need a strong knowledge of fluid dynamics. Alkran also is in the plan to develop as a mixed use facility. You have a marina, big marina here. Also, you have a lot of civil infrastructures, hotels and parks. All those things are going to come very close to this project. Finally, Kuwait is also spending a lot of money developing artificial reefs. As I was telling you at the beginning, natural reef, because of extreme temperature, turbidity, acidification, in many areas they are dying. So it is our duty to add more reef by artificially creating good environment and this type of structures. So we should try to improve the biodiversity of corals. So this is also another important area. While designing these corals, fluid mechanics, how it plays a role. If you are keeping it on sea floor, it should not sink in the sea floor due to corrosion or erosion. Due to erosion, it should not sink. So we have to know fluid mechanics here. To conclude, though Kuwait is a small coastal country, the oceanographic conditions are very significantly different from north to south. That we need to know. And lot of investment is happening in the coastal front. A thorough knowledge of fluid mechanics, fluid dynamics, wave mechanics, coastal engineering, all these things are required for cost-effective future development, also environment-friendly development, and ecologically helping development. When we do the developments, we have to make sure we are also helping the ecology to improve. So we have to think like that. Everywhere the fluid will have its engineering problem. When the fluid is acting on the coast, it will erode. So that is a negative aspect. But when fluid is entering into a marina and when it goes back, it will clean the marina. That is a positive impact. When fluid is moving from one place to another place, it will transport the sediments. And these sediments may enter into marina and slowly it will be occupied by sediments. This is a negative impact. But then we have to understand the science of fluid structure interaction, fluid seabed interaction. We have to understand to solve all these problems in a very clear way. Right now, Kuwait do not have enough coastal engineer. So that way, my suggestion is to read all these fundamentals very thoroughly, take a little bit more courses on coastal engineering principles, and use this opportunity to develop coastal infrastructures of Kuwait in a very sustainable manner. So that is what my suggestion. Thank you very much for your attention, all of you. I really love to exchange my views with you. It's a great pleasure. Thank you very much.